because I understand that the wounds are not our fault, but the healing is our responsibility.
Does forgiving yourself release that pent up energy?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And would you say that since you had those energies, emotions within you, to a degree, you perceived reality through those emotions?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Today we have Blanca Rodriguez with us. She is the owner of Wounded Healer. She has been licensed massage therapist for 18 years and she is a certified canine massage therapist, a fitness instructor, and Zumba dance, teaching for over 30 years, motivational, inspirational speaker, educator, and volunteer. Why Wounded?
That is definitely a very profound question. And thank you so much for that, Andy. Wounded healers, we are individuals that our traumatic experiences from the past enables us to help others improve their quality of life, no matter what age we are. And when heard that wounded healer, I said that really resonates with me, with who I am, with where I have been in life. And my biggest mission is to help others understand that they don't have to stay in silence. They don't have to do it alone because there is help out there, like you and I, for example.
How did you realize you were wounded, and how long were you carrying this wound with yourself?
Ever since I was a child, my life was one thing before my the tragic passing of my father. And then life became something totally entirely different after my father's untimely death. He was killed in his business when I was 8 years old. And after that, my world definitely turned upside down. My mother went into a deep, deep depression and she never recovered from it. She suffered from chronic untreated mental illnesses for most of her life. She got the help that she so very much deserved and needed when she was 79 years old. That was a full blown adult already. And living around trauma, around mental illness was very confusing, very unstable. I come from a culture, at least in those days, where talking about the dead was prohibited. So I was in grief on my own. I didn't know what to do with my grief. I didn't have anybody to talk to, anybody to go through the process of grief, of loss, all of these stages that are so important to receive some kind of support. I went through all of it alone, and I was a little girl. And then a year later, I was sexually assaulted for the first time. So, all of this confusion, trauma, shame, silence, it really took me to down a rabbit hole for many, many years to come. And definitely the trauma didn't, I didn't work on the trauma until much later in life when I understood it's like, okay, there's some things that really need to change here, and I knew exactly where it came from, and I'm very grateful for that.
Did you find that this trauma is impacting your day to day life? And if so, how?
It impacted my day-to-day life in a very profound way. It led me to low self-esteem, self-destruction. I was jumping from person to person. I was looking for something outside of myself when at the end of the day, the only place where I could find it was within me. I did a lot of self help, a lot of coaching, a lot of counseling throughout my life. And it helped me tremendously till this day. And definitely, what impacted me in such a negative way back in the day is impacted me in a very good way because I understand that the wounds are not our fault, but the healing is our responsibility. And the healing journey never ends. It's a lifetime of healing, and every single step that is taken towards our healing, it's a better day for all of us, obviously, including myself.
How did you realize you were wounded, and what was the first step you took to be healed?
I realized consciously that I was wounded in my 30s. So unconsciously, oh, it was the wounds were there knocking at my door. Hey, it's time for you to do something about it. But consciously, I realized it in my 30s after I had my kids, actually. Before that, I was really sugarcoating things with drugs, alcohol, partying. I was numbing the pain in any single way I could until the time when I said to myself, well, it's time for me to begin a new mission, which is become a better person, not only for my kids, but for myself. And that was definitely the time when I said, okay, I've been carrying a lot of baggage on my shoulders, and it's time to stop blaming others for my own actions, take matters into my own hands, and hey, turn on that switch that says it's time to heal, woman, for the best. Go down that rabbit hole. Understand, face my demons, face those dark times, and starting the slow process of healing. And yes, it is a slow process, it's not easy, but definitely the weight of all of those dark seasons in my life started to be lifted. And today, definitely, I'm a much happier person with myself, with who I am, with my growth. And it's about improving quality of life, no matter what age we are, definitely.
You started as a wounded person. Now it seems you come to terms who you are. What was the journey like? What steps did you take?
Yes, I definitely picked up every single tool needed for my journey. The moment that I really jumped into it was when I did my co authorship. The moment when I wrote my life journey in 2,000 words. And I said to myself, it's time to speak up. It's time to say it all because I know that somehow will help someone out there somewhere. The moment that I published my book, that was the biggest step that I took to say, okay, there's a mission in life, and there's a reason why are all these traumas happen to me. And it was, and the mission has always been to help others. The mission has always been to look outside of myself, doing something bigger than myself. And I understand that very clearly now. There's always a reason why everything happens in life. That is for sure. Not only to show myself how capable I am to do better in this world, but to show it to the ones I love, to show it to my kids that it is our responsibility to make something better for ourselves. It is time to stop feeling sorry for myself and do something about it. Use it for the better good. And all of the wounds that I receive, that of course I am still in the healing process, I'm still in the healing journey, and the growth never ends. And the more open we are to this reality that is not about getting counseling, because I did it all. I did self help, many self help books. I did Unleash the Power Within with Anthony Robbins. I did courses with Lisa Nichols. I did many things. And still to this day, I keep on doing things. I have a life coach that has been a blessing in my life. And thanks to my life coaching, I became a life coach myself. So there's always we can always find a treasure in the trash, and this is the biggest example of it.
Your mess is your message.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt.
So
Very grateful.
I assume there's tons of people that listen to this and wonder, I have some grief, I have some trauma. Maybe I'm not at this stage where I will confront that. But for those that are ready to confront, how can they do that?
In my experience, there's a phrase that is very important. And I always kept it in mind. I always do keep it in mind when I work with my clients. And it says, the definition of insanity is repeating the same action and expecting different results. The moment that I really internalize that this is the harsh truth, we cannot keep on doing the same mistakes. We cannot keep on pretending that things are fine and expecting to find roses and daisies when we have to confront ourselves, look at ourselves in the mirror. There's an excellent exercise that is the mirror exercise. You stand before the mirror and you say to yourself, for example, me, Blanca, I am thankful for, and Blanca, I forgive you for. It's very profound. And when I started to do these exercises, they were very powerful. I sobbed, I laughed, I cried, but it was very liberating because I was doing this for me, myself, and I, not for anybody, not for the masses, not for society. I was doing it for me. And the moment someone wants to heal, the basic and the rooting of healing is that you're doing it for you first. Then the rest will follow. I work in two rehab centers for drug addiction and alcohol abuse. And most of these patients, the rooting of their addiction is not the addiction per se, is childhood trauma, untreated childhood trauma, abuse, neglect, abandonment, and they numb their pain like I did many years ago with whatever is in front of them, with whatever it is in the outside world. But the most profound moment that helped me in my healing journey is facing myself and starting the forgiveness process. And it's not forgiving others, yes, that is part of the deal, but forgiving myself was the rooting of all of my healing journey. That is a fact.
That's forgiving yourself, release that pent up energy.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And would you say that since you had those energies, emotions within you, to a degree, you perceived reality through those emotions?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. When I finally started this powerful, painful healing journey, it was because I was tired. I was tired of being tired. I was tired of repeating my same experiences. I was tired of being surrounded by abusive people. I was tired by being abused by my own poor mother. I was tired of blaming my father for my suffering. It was never his fault. He didn't want to die at 43 years old. He was young, full of life, business owner, wonderful, amazing person. He was my favorite person in the world, and one day he was there, and the next day he was gone. And I put the blame of my own actions way too much on other people. When I stopped doing that and I said, okay, I'm responsible for everything I have done in my life, it was liberating. I feel better. And right now, I am talking to you about it. And it's like, okay, I am totally calm about it. And to get to this place, it takes a lot of work and dedication. And the work never ends. But you know what? The best investment that we can do on something is investing on ourselves, investing on our journey, investing on our healing, investing on our growth. And we always feel the results. And definitely, I will keep on investing on who I am on this journey because it's totally worth it.
You mentioned that you have been surrounded by toxic people. The environment itself was toxic. Now you have done countless steps on this journey to being healed. What your environment look like?
My environment right now is phenomenal. I am surrounded by wonderful people with similar interests, with probably similar experiences, people like you and I that we don't give up. When we are down, we don't give up, we keep on going. And not giving up is to me the rooting of this journey to being better human beings, to growth, to love, self love. I'm surrounded by amazing friends. I'm surrounded by an amazing husband that I call my best friend. He is an amazing soul. And it took failure to finally succeed. And once we understand that when we fail forward. Don't stay lost in the sauce because you failed on something. It takes failure to grow, it takes failure to succeed, it takes failure to find self love. And once we discover these things, these facts in life, things get better and everything starts falling into place,
Hmm.
into the plan that the universe has chosen for us, because we're all here for a reason. We're all here because of something. Because if there wasn't a reason why we are here, like you and I right now, right here, right this second, then there is no point. Definitely. I am one blessed, grateful woman every single day of my life. From the moment I open my eyes to the moment I go to sleep, I'm always grateful. And you know what? The first person that I'm grateful to is me, because of being here, because of living through another day, because of helping someone improve their quality of life, someone by saying a word, by doing a live, by being here right now with you. These are very important missions, and definitely the universe put us here with this purpose. So yes, life is always good today.
What do you mean by there is a relation between failure and self-love?
If we don't have failure in our lives, we won't be able to really appreciate the simple things in life. In my experience with lots of failure, I failed in with my choices with partners, and that was the pattern of abuse that I grew up at. And I was failing over and over and over, one after the other, the other. Failing with my relationship, for example, with the father of my kids. He was a drug addict, and I had my addictions too. He was abused sexually when he was a child. I was abused sexually when I was a child. We never spoke about it until a little bit before his death. He died very early in life. His drug abuse really, he succumbed to that, but he didn't find any help. He didn't do anything to help himself. And that's when this kind of failure really helped me to look forward to succeed as a woman, to say, it's like, okay, I have seen what this does through the eyes of this other person, and it was time for me to move on, get the help that I so very much needed and deserved, be a better person, not only for myself, but for my children. And I was like, wow, if I go the path that he was going, Both of my kids, they're both adults now, they would have been without a parent. Unfortunately, they lost their father 13 years ago, but he didn't do anything to make it better, to heal his wounds.
Mm,
And when I saw that kind of failure, not only within myself, but within him, I said, no, something has to change for the better. And here I am today. I'm very grateful
mm.
to be here today because his path could have been mine as well. And no, it was time for change. And changes are constant. From the moment of conception to the moment of death, we're changing. In this human experience, the most secure thing that we have is change, failure, and success. And we so pursue it.
I had a quote, I believe, by Alex Hormozy, who said that I cannot fail if I do not give up. And Edison said that he didn't fail whilst inventing a light bulb. He found thousand ways that don't work. I agree.
That's
It's
that's
a
right.
process and a step of growth. And if you use failures correctly, they will teach you much more than a success will. Do
That's
you
right.
believe you can help yourself without any other person, any specialist in your team?
Well, I now that I have practiced many things in this healing journey, I have done counseling, I have done group counseling, I have self help books. YouTube University is the best when it comes to our healing journey. Words of affirmation is super important. Self
Mm.
help. I believe that self care is the best care, without a doubt. Here I am. I'm going to be 59 years old. In this society where I am, I live in the US, and the culture where I live around here in the US is about the older you get, you are supposed to go downhill and your life is
Mm.
almost over and it's bad for you. And then I turn around because I love different cultures, I love world culture. And then I turn around and I see other cultures where aging is power. Aging is embracing who you are. Aging is knowledge. Aging is growth. Aging is kicking ass. That right there, that's when mindset is everything. And when we change our mindset, our lives definitely change. But in my honest professional and personal experience, self care is the best care, without a doubt.
And within the self-care, what is the most important aspect and what does mindset mean to you?
Mindset is everything. I have a daughter, my beloved daughter, that she has mental illness. She has depression. And this is what happens with depression. The same way people with depression, I live around mental illnesses my entire life, starting with my mother, uncles, the whole. If there's a menu of mental illnesses, I think I saw them all. And this is what happens when mindset and how powerful mindset is. Our minds can play dirty tricks on us. When we focus on the bad, guess what will happen? The bad will keep on coming to you. But when we focus on improving, when we focus on change, mindset has everything to do with it. It takes, in this human experience, it takes 21 to 67 days to make a change, no matter what it is. Okay. It can be changing your water, something as simple and important as changing your water intake on a daily basis. As simple as water, but without water, we don't have any life. So it's very important. Changing our mindset about our water intake is can be pivotal. It's vital for our lives. I remember when I was younger, I hardly drank any water. I drank soda. And what happened to me? I had kidney infection. It was bad, it was severe. And what had to happen? Change. Why did I have to go and do self-care? Why did I have to start doing drinking water from the first day in the morning to the last thing at night, and have a bottle of water during the night? So when I get up in the middle of the evening, I have more water. And that is when change of mindset happens, because when we change our mindset, we change our lives. Starting with something as important, as vital and simple, like drinking water on a regular basis. Same thing with anything else in our lives. I switch being shameful and embarrassed at what happened to me, at my experiences as a child, to fast forward now that I'm a full blown adult, and I changed it into these experiences need to be heard by many because it can help someone heal their own wounds. That is a change of mindset right there.
Tell me, since you obviously have been through a lot, what thing would you like to know when you were 20?
Wow. When I was 20, that was a little bit ago, I would have loved to know when I was 20 how to embark in a journey that I embarked in much later in life. And it was the one of asking for help. I thought that, feeling the sense of unworthiness, like I didn't feel like I
Mm,
was worthy. I didn't feel like I mean, my low self esteem and low self worth really took me to places of even more isolation. And I felt that sense of isolation ever since I was a little girl. And at 20, I would have loved to know how to get help. I would have loved to ask for help at that time, but I didn't. I didn't feel worthy of being helped. And I was one of these people that I would want to do everything alone because I didn't want to bother anybody, because I wasn't worth anybody's time, anybody's energy on me. So, yes, at 20, I would have loved to ask for help when I so very much needed it, and I didn't.
how do you ask for help?
Well, I ask for help now, like you won't believe. And if I need something, I will just ask for it. It's like, to me, it's like second nature now. But back in my day, I didn't ask for help because that's what I learned. I learned it at home. I learned how to shut up, and everything was about shutting up. I was the youngest of in the family, so my word had like no meaning and no importance. And here I go again, I forgave my mother a very long time ago, but my poor mother had everything to do with my silence and my low self-worth, because when I would ask something or say something, my mother used to say, "You shut up and you talk when the chickens pee." Imagine that. And I heard it from many members of the family, and that was like a thing, which was truly pathetic. And having that mindset, here we go with mindset. Having that mindset is like, wow, my word is so important that I can talk when the chickens pee only. Imagine that. That was really, really took me down a rabbit hole. But how did I ask for help? I just went and did it. And it started with good friends, good relationships that I created throughout the years, that I still have, friends of mine, the good ones that we have been friends for over 40 years. Those were the people where that I asked them for help because I didn't ask first. They offered. So that started opening a door to me to something different that I didn't experience before. Somebody offering their help to me. I was like, "Oh my god, they want to help me. This is amazing. This is so new." And once these beautiful people offered me their help, that opened the door for me to bigger things to come, like me asking for help for a change. So that was really, really beautiful.
Where can people find you?
Everybody can find me at www.woundedhealer.us. I'm in all social media platforms. I'm in Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. I My biggest mission in life is help others, because the same way that I found help from amazing people, it's my duty and my mission to help others as well. And it makes me very happy to do it.